Welcome to a place known for its beautiful canals, love of bike riding, and... Stacey, what does that smell?
Welcome to Amsterdam. It is a beautiful morning here in Amsterdam today. We got up Rosh got up super early, saw me touch my phone, took that as me being awake and turned the light on, but we came out about 6:30 this morning. Gotta love that jet lag, but absolutely dead quiet out here on the streets. Absolutely beautiful. We're here on one of the beautiful canals, just taking in the serenity at the moment while it's still nice and quiet here in Amsterdam. You guys, it is a crisp 13 degrees out here this morning, and I have to say, I'm loving it. After 4 days in Singapore where we literally did not stop sweating, we were literally sweating 24 hours a day. It was a lot, and walking out this morning and actually feeling a bit cold was really nice. We actually both dressed for different seasons. Rosh was in pants and a jacket, and I was in singlet and shorts.
Who's the more responsible one?
Rosh has donated her jacket to me this morning. It's meant to get up to 27 degrees later, so we're expecting it to heat up, but for now, enjoying the cool weather. You guys, I think being in another city now just makes us appreciate even more the cleanliness of Singapore. I'm not saying Amsterdam's like overly dirty, it's exactly like what Melbourne would be, but it just like, I think when we're in Singapore we didn't necessarily take in how clean it was because we just adapted to that being the way, but now that we're here it's like, oh yes, this is what cities normally look like, and Singapore in comparison is just so clean. You guys, we are just wandering the streets. We don't really have a plan this morning. We're kind of just walking around aimlessly, but it's just so nice and it's still so quiet. It's pushing 8:30 now and the streets are still very empty. So it's just a very nice opportunity to take in everything, get some photos of all the beautiful buildings without, crowds of people in front of them. We're just loving it. We walked past the Anne Frank house just before, which we'll be going to on a different day, but just taking in the sights. We were also able to head out so early this morning because it was already so bright, and that's because the sun had risen by like 5 a.m. so it was perfectly, it was like the middle of the day, but it was 5 a.m. so it allowed us to head out super early and take in all the scenery. One of the other great things about Amsterdam is that it's not actually that big a city, which makes it easily walkable if you're able to. And the great thing about that means you can kind of just go out and wander aimlessly without any kind of plan or direction and not have to stress about getting too far away from anywhere you need to be. So that's what we've done this morning. We don't really have a plan, we're just wandering around the streets and we're still not even that far from our accommodation. So it's very nice to be able to do that.
Guys, something that I'm finding really pretty here in Amsterdam is the architecture of the houses. Something that's pretty interesting is a lot of the houses, they actually lean forwards. There's a forward incline. I did a little bit of research and I've found 3 reasons for this. It's interesting because up until apparently the 19th century, it was actually regulation that they had to lean forward for the following reasons. Back then, the houses were made of timber. And the way in which the houses were made, there was a technique called jettying, which means that the second floor was larger than the first floor. The problem with houses being made of timber is that when it rained, the water would leak through the walls or through the ceilings. However, if the second floor is larger than the first floor, it'll just drip off the edge. Pretty smart, right? The next reason is because it actually makes the houses larger without taking up more space on the street. And then the last reason is that it makes it easier to get things into the house when they're lifting them up through the windows, and it reduces the chance of the furniture hitting the walls of the house on the way up. And if you look closely, a lot of the houses have hooks up on the roofs to help the furniture going in. Guys, it's 9:15 in the morning on a Saturday and it's extremely quiet. We're only a 5-minute walk from the main station in the centre of Amsterdam, and all you can hear are the seagulls, which are really loud by the way, and then like the pedaling of people's bikes. That's how quiet and peaceful it is here today.
one of the activities that is just a must do here in Amsterdam is a canal cruise. So we're about to head off on a 1-hour canal cruise and we can't wait.
And just like that, we are finished with our canal cruise. It was really, really cool. It actually felt like it went really quick. It was a full hour, but it almost felt like we needed more. We learnt some really cool fun facts along the way. One of my favourite fun facts was that back when they were building the houses around here in the city of Amsterdam, the taxes were really high and were obviously higher the more land that you had. So in order to save money, they built up rather than out, and that is why the buildings are so thin but tall. Another fun fact is that every single canal in Amsterdam, bar one river, is all man-made, and each canal is about 3 meters deep, and the tour guide said that the first meter they think of as mud, the second meter they think of as water, and then the third meter is bicycles, because last year they had a record number of bicycles pulled out of the river. They reported 15,000. So he made a funny joke. He said that the Dutch, they throw a bike into the water for good luck rather than how some other countries might throw a penny. It's now 3:45 in the afternoon and you can see behind me the crowds are totally different. It is buzzing.
Okay, we have just come back from a break at the hostel and we've now walked over to Dam Square, which is considered kind of the heart of Amsterdam. There's obviously a lot going on around me, a lot of people, and a lot of events and stuff take place in this square. So it's very cool because obviously Amsterdam is quite condensed. A lot of the buildings are quite narrow, a lot of the streets are quite narrow, but this is such a big open space. So many people here, lots of good vibes happening, it's very cool.
We just had a bit of a peruse in a shop that I think is kind of impossible to just walk past. You have to go into the rubber duck store. If we weren't doing carry-on only, I think I would have bought Baraka duck or whatever it was, or something like that.
I refuse to believe that a store that only sells rubber ducks makes enough money to stay functional. Like how?
We've come to a flower market along one of the canals because obviously Amsterdam is known for many things other than its smells and different type of foods. One being tulips. I'm sure there's a reason for these barn looking doors up here on these windows. If you know, please let me know in the comments. I'm very curious.
We have been wandering around and we finally stopped to get something to eat. This place, I won't say the name, I won't attempt any Dutch. We'll put some B-roll in, but this place had quite a long line, so we always take that as a good sign when we're travelling. So we got some fries and we got tomato sauce and mayo, as that seemed to be quite a popular option going around. But they had plenty of different sauces you could pick. They had a curry, a satay, lots of different stuff.
Chips and sauce, what's not to like?
Crisp rating.
Oh. It's high.
Saltiness rating.
I give crisp an 8 out of 10. Saltiness is overshadowed by the sauce.
Sauce combination.
Sauce combination. A+.
We have now come to Fibo to get something else to eat. Fibo is a fast food type place here in Amsterdam and it's quite unique in the sense that you don't really tend to go up to the counter. There's this little almost like interactive vending machine where you tap your card and then the drawer will open and you pull the food out yourself. It's all sitting there waiting for you, which is a bit like, how long's it been sitting there? But if you don't like interacting with people, it's perfect. So we've got these weird crumbed chicken things and we'll give it a go. Kipko apparently is what it's called. Which tastes like a chicken tender, missing some sauce.